Well, hello, and welcome back. It has been 2 weeks and half a day since I last was able to stream, mostly because of being shy, I should say. Well, hello, and I have my volume on the other monitor. Okay. I don't need to hear myself, I just need to know that my audio is working. Actually, I can pause for 1 second just to test the music volume. I'm on the other monitor. Okay. I don't need to hear myself, I just need to know that my audio is working. Actually, I can pause for 1 second just to test the music volume. I'm on the other monitor. Okay. I don't need to hear myself, and that's just gonna repeat, so I should just mute that until it is clear again. Okay. Well, anyways, where we left off was actually a rather pivotal moment in editing this Eastern Phoebe footage, which is 2,448 clips, maybe more, if my counting was off. And definitely not less, unfortunately. So it was a pivotal moment because something happened that I'm going to have to give a little bit of context for. And this is the screen. You might notice there is a sort of plastic shovel, or rather plastic server, and there's a little bird in there. And that little bird, we thought, fell out of the nest. On second thought, it probably was not an Eastern Phoebe chick, despite being about this right size, there being no other bird's nest nearby. And it wasn't from the nest, because all these guys were here, I think. And it was sort of hard to judge how many chicks were actually in the nest, but I think there were 5. So I will just let this play for a bit. And actually I'll pull this up first. So we found this little guy. I did not take enough photos of this or video of this because we were shocked to see a little bird right on the ground, right under the nest. Or rather, under the bench, which is also under the nest, but like a few feet away from the nest. And this photo was not very good. It was a quickly taken one. And that beak is not an Eastern Phoebe beak. I can at least tell you that. There's another photo that's not good. Here's a bit better, but it's hiding its face. It's about the size of an Eastern Phoebe chick. But that might even be an adult bird. I do not know. And let's see, do I have one of these? And here's another video, though it's not of that. This is me trying to get a view of the nest in better quality than my trail cam. Okay. And this is probably something else. Okay, this is not the clip I thought it was. This might be after... Yeah, did they already leave the nest by then? I don't know. Well, anyways, so that leads us to this little bird right here, which is not an Eastern Phoebe. It may be a chick, it may not be a chick, we're not even entirely certain. And we will just start playing. So here is the little sad thing. So it was a fairly cool April night when this happened. So So that little bird went close to the nest. It makes sense because it's at least some warmth, I guess. But you can already see that its color is not the same as the eastern phoebes. Where it came from, we have no idea. I thought for a while it was a brood parasite. But that doesn't make sense either. Because it wasn't in any of the other clips. And after watching like 10 plus hours Eastern Phoebe chicks, there wasn't any that looked like a brood parasite in there, even though brood parasites do happen to Eastern Phoebes. So how this little guy got here when there's no other nest nearby, I do not know. I still think it's more of a chick, or maybe it just fledged, maybe it flew off from a nest recently and didn't quite know how to handle itself. And in the background I have some new music playing. Ah, synchronized pooping. But here is the tragic part, I guess. Yep. And I'll play that again. I'll actually zoom in just a bit more too. It's not really going to increase the quality. And unfortunately, there was this terrible flickering too, because it was right next to the light. So now we're back to the standard footage, and I never found out what happened to that little bird. I think it was already at the stage where it could probably fly, or close enough. It seems unlikely that something happened, or a predator got to it that early in the day. I'll actually go back to that clip really quick. Yeah, that's a little sad, isn't it? Mr. Casper, you can come here. We're watching bird videos. Yeah? So the editing I'm doing right now is more or less just removing segments where there isn't too much motion. If there's a clip that has very little going on in it, I'll remove the clip. Okay, we're going to have to... Huh, that's interesting. Why is it so different? Must be because the nighttime lens and the daylight lens, unless I... But that image quality is just so bad right now, you can't see anything. Yes, Mr. Casper, you can come here. Here is my editing assistant. His name is Mr. Casper. Or just Casper. Or Grayscale Casper. And he is a cutie. And you might know he is of the avian persuasion. And he occasionally visits me during editing to get some millet. And occasionally he performs tricks for millets. We'll have to see whether he does that or if he just tries to get it out of the food container. Okay, this clip looks like nothing's really happening here. So I'm going to expand the timeline just a bit. Well, isn't that cute, Mr. Casper? And the music in the background, it's a random assortment from a Humble Bumble I recently purchased. And I'm listening to all of it sort of randomly. Mr. Casper, that's rude. Okay, and Mr. Casper has flown the coop. Yeah, and now he's whistling at me. Got to get my shoulder clean from all the millet. And during the process, I tried to have the camera in many different spots as possible, trying just to get a good shot of this. But at the end of the day, most of the clips are just sort of not as good as I'd like. So for example, this clip has motion, but because it's such poor quality and the parent isn't there, I'm going to get rid of it. And edit faster, I'll just scrub along. Okay. Yes, Mr. Casper, that's good flex. You can come here. Come here. Come. And Mr. Casper has returned. For more millet and more mortal support. And now I have to pay attention to both Mr. Casper and the video. This clip was bad. Okay. Mr. Casper, be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful. We don't want you flying into the cord for the earplugs, the earbuds. Okay? Because that might knock them out of my ears or get you tangled, and that would not be good. No screeching at me, okay? Okay, everything should be good. Okay. Was there anything going on? Yeah, okay. And to be honest, the fastest way to edit this is to barely watch it, just use this. Well, hello, Mr. Casper. Mr. Casper, it's time for you to go on a journey. Journey. We'll see if he does the trick or not. It's a new trick that he recently taught himself. Journey. Casper, I'm busy watching other birds. Does that make you jealous, Casper? You just want more millet. Okay. Okay. And for today, I don't know how long I'm going to edit, but I'm probably going to stop at maybe 5 o'clock because I have a few other things to do. And then hopefully I'll be able to come back around 7 and edit for a larger block of time. Mr. Casper, that's rude. Now, let's see. I wish the quality of the footage was better, but it was just the morning light was just coming in at the wrong angle. Okay, and the parent comes back with something else a short while later. And let me just check this really quick. Okay, everything is running properly. And the trail cam was basically only picking up the movement The parent is coming. That actually reduces the total number of clips from this time period. That kind of works out for me. Isn't that a loud little bird? I think that's a Carolina wren call. And this kind of video editing work is not the most glamorous or exciting. So much so that it's basically been 2 weeks since the last time I worked on this project, and then 2 weeks before that. Because it is a little soul-crushing, because you're watching what's effectively something very similar every single time. It is either the mother bringing food, or the mother taking away poo, or maybe the little birds occasionally stretching their little wings. You occasionally get moments of excitement like when a lizard is brought. And of course, the very big highlight of that thing I was editing at the very beginning, which is a strange scenario where a little bird, we found the little bird and it wasn't an eastern Pheobe, and then it got immediately kicked out of the nest when the parents got there. Which is a little sad. And we have no clue where that little bird came from. And let's see if I've already... No, I haven't. So, for sound... I found it quite useful to reduce it just a little. Mr. Casper, go on a journey. Journey. Okay? You know what to do. Mr. Casper. You do get my attention by pulling on that, but it doesn't make me happy for you. You're just trying to distract me. Yes, you are. Okay, there we go. And Mr. Casper has gone on his journey. And when he goes on his journey, you can just see my bald spot. Lovely. But that's fine. Okay. What was I doing? I was doing this. And then I got distracted by a birdie. The footage is getting a little bit better as the day goes on. I think this entire clip can be removed. So this one, the motion sensor barely caught the parent as it was leaving. But we don't need that clip. Well, we can keep just a small part of it in, just because. Yeah, that's sort of fun. Mr. Casper. Mr. Casper. I believe you're being rude. I occasionally just let Mr. Casper eat his fill from the millet dish. I don't always do that. Mr. Casper. Well, let's see if I can get Mr. Casper down there. It's a bit messy in the room. Can you see Mr. Casper there? Yes. There we have Mr. Casper. The room's always going to be a mess, but that's what it is. And there's Mr. Casper trying to be cheeky, and there's Mr. Casper being silly. Okay, I'm actually really happy with how the camera moves on that little thing I have it on. Ooh, here's something. That's the two parents. flying down to catch the poo. Uh, one thing I do while working on this is I write down interesting clips. I don't have to do for the first ones because I already know what they are. But this one is sort of a funny one. Because its instinct is to... Let's see, this is going to be... Okay. So this clip is somewhat funny. Yep, just chasing the poo. Directly down to the ground. There's not that much movement in this clip. Okay. Okay, and there's a truck. Someone driving a gas guzzler, I assume. Well, the music is helping me focus. I guess that's one good thing. Wow, that was loud. So what was that? Somewhat large prey item, but impossible to tell basically what it was. Unusual for the parent to stay that long. So that's another fairly funny clip. Okay, let's see. I do want to get just a little more comfortable. It's good to move around just slightly and reposition, especially when I'm going to be sitting here for hours on end. Water. Nothing going on there. I might keep this clip in here just because the chicks are moving a lot more than they normally do. And of course, the vast majority of the clips are just the mother or father bird bringing food and leaving. Do we have a large prey item here? Possibly. Yeah, getting rid of the shovel. I'll keep that in. Or should I call it a scoop? Probably should just call it a scoop. Okay, nothing going on in this loop. They are chirping along, but not really doing much. But I can keep this segment in. And the parent returned. Or a different parent arrived. Okay, nothing going on. Bit of bird flapping, so I can keep that in. Okay, don't need that clip. That's somewhat interesting. the parents did not return for a while, and the chicks were enough to trigger the trail cam several times in a row. So they're definitely moving a lot more at this age. And nothing going on there. It does make it a bit easier to edit those when there's basically nothing notable happening in the clip. Yes, Mr. Casper. Well, this clip is a good example of when the mother comes back, the chicks hear a sound that's very specific to them, and they know to get ready. Okay, I just clicked something I shouldn't have. Okay. Okay. I clicked a part of the timeline that I didn't want to. And I do not know if I got misplaced. It feels like I didn't. Okay, I know where I am. When you do this, when every clip is so similar in many ways, it's somewhat hard to tell if you click something different and get misplaced. Okay, nothing important in that clip. Okay, nothing important in that clip. Nothing important in that clip. I could leave this portion of it. Someone's getting some exercise in. I do like how the Eastern Phoebe chicks, none of them ever seem to quarrel with each other. There's no fighting, no pecking at each other. It's somewhat hard to remain focused for this long a time period, though. Okay, you can see that there's 5 chicks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually going to leave this whole clip here, because it's one of the few where you can actually see all of them together very easily. So that just confirms it to me that the little fellow that was at the very beginning of this stream was not Eastern Phoebe and was not a brood parasite in this nest. It's just an unfortunate fellow that somehow got onto our porch from a nest at an unknown location and was basically hiding for the night. And here the lighting gets a lot worse again. as the day is starting to end. That's somewhat interesting, the parent flying to multiple locations that way. Yeah, that is somewhat unusual, isn't it? Okay, and it changes the aspect ratio or the view quite a bit when it's put just the nighttime shots. That's interesting. Didn't realize that before the footage earlier. Okay, and this is also slightly louder, so I'm going to decrease that just a bit. Okay, and hopefully I can finish the current segment of stuff I'm working on. Okay. And that's the end of that segment. And now we can do the next segment. And that save project comes in at a good time. Video game, -2. It looks like some of those clips are quite loud, so I will have to do some more smushing of them. And I have moved the camera to a different location, or rather I had. But it's the footage is still somewhat bad. Yep, the footage is somewhat bad here. I did want to move this camera closer to the nest, but I was worried it would disturb the birds too much. That's quite loud. Okay. And let's see, by my estimate, I am at least past 1,500 clips I've gone through. Okay, -8 actually. Okay. Let's see. I might just go ahead and... Seems like all these clips are just on a whole a lot louder than the other ones, because it is closer to the nest. So I'll just go that. And if any are actually too quiet, I'll up them a bit, and that'll be easier than tuning them all down. That's a bit loud. It's a different bird. Okay. Is that a lizard? Yeah, I think that's a lizard. And there's a mourning dove call. I'll probably keep editing until, let's see, 5:15 probably is a good stopping point. And now they look very much like their parents. This one's even louder, so I'm going to set that down to go down. Okay. Okay, nothing happened. That's really loud. Both of all of these clips up here. Those, I'll do these three first. -10 should be fine. Okay. Okay, that should be good. Okay, all these clips are not particularly worthwhile. Okay, what's this? That's a slug, I think. Slug or worm? Yeah, that's a slug. That might be the first thing I know as a slug. Though she's probably brought more over the course of this, it just would be very hard to tell most of the time. There are certainly more confirmed lizards than actual slugs. One good part about the trail camera I was using is that if it keeps sensing motion, it can keep recording. Which it did for these longer clips here. And if the footage is actually interesting or not, well, it can be debatable. In this case, it probably wasn't. But often it is. I am sure there are some clips here where the baby bird, or there are some baby birds out there that sound a lot more pleasant than the screeches of the hungry, hungry little guys. Okay, need some more water. That's nice. Staying hydrated is good. Okay, what do we have here? What was the prey item? Was that a slug? I think she dropped it, actually. No, I don't think so. Okay. Okay, these 3 clips are too loud. And that could have been the same bird bringing something back 3 times in a row really quickly. Especially if birds or bugs were being attracted to the area. Okay, and this is a bit loud, so maybe at 12 as well. Okay. Yeah, things are going well. I feel like I'm in a state of semi-hyper-focus, but I'm also getting really tired of this. I could just leave this in as a longer clip too. Okay, that's a slug. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this in as a longer clip. Okay. Easy. Okay. Okay, this set of clips needs to be a lot quieter. Is that actually the last? Look how much more I have to do. Look how much more I have to do. That is 6 hours. Yeah, well, let's see. 7 hours. Maybe not that much. Audio gain, -8. Well, actually, audio gain, we had to do just a whole bunch is -12. So, this is getting close to the end game, I suppose. -12. Okay. What is making that sound? I don't think it's the chicks. I am going to save. I have already gotten a good amount done, and it's been a long time since the last autosave. Mr. Casper, come here. Come here, Mr. Casper. I'm in desperate need of your motivation, your moral support. Come here. That was a stretch. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that. Now I have a feeling that many of these clips are just gonna be the chicks moving just ever so slightly, which means I can probably remove about 50% of them if they're in that criteria. Come here, Mr. Casper. Come here. Come here. Come. Come here, Mr. Casper. I need a distraction. And that's another good clip of the chicks knowing by sound that their mother's or father's coming. Oh, two of them really noticed and the other two really didn't. That could just be based on their individual hunger as well. Yes, Mr. Casper, come here. And see this little ball of joy right here? His name is Casper. And he is, of course, the star of the show. Now it does make editing just a little harder when you only have access to one hand, because the other hand is feeding a deliciously cute little birdie. Scrumptious. Ooh, lizard. That's a lizard. Hey, Mr. Casper, we have a lizard situation, so I'm going to have to stop feeding you for a moment. Okay, that's clip number 18. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, I don't need this segment. And None of them got the lizard. Okay, and that one got the lizard. Oh, what's going on here? It's in that one's mouth. Okay, I'm going to leave all this in, simply because the birdie moved quite a bit as well. Relatively speaking, anyways. And now I can edit a bit faster. Okay, don't need that clip. What are you doing, Mr. Casper? I can't see you flexing out of the corner of my eye. But Casper, you know you have to fully flex. Not this half-hearted stuff. Okay, I think the sound right there was the bird landed right behind the camera. Okay, where? Okay, let's see. Mr. Casper, you're a good lad. What was that? Go on a journey. Journey, Casper. Ah, the earbud fell out and it scared Casper. Okay, nothing there. There's a flap there, but not a particularly good one. I don't know whether it's the music playing right now or the doorknob is being pulled by something. Okay, I'm probably gonna stop in about 5 more minutes. As I have to make a salad for dinner, and then I'm going out to walk for Pokemon Go. Okay. Okay, well then I might leave that whole clip in there. Okay, that sort of door knob sound is from music. I did not. Okay, so I just tested it, but there's actually feather on the camera right here, I'm pretty certain. It's not on my monitor, because otherwise it would have been wiped off. So the bird flew by, shed a few feathers, and now there's 3 feathers stuck on the camera lens. That's somewhat amusing. I don't need these clips. It's a real shame because the footage was actually the best of this entire process during the day here, and now it's sort of crappy again. Oh, that's interesting. It looks like the birdies were following this little bug here. Yeah, they are. Their heads were clearly following that little bug. And if it flew too close, I bet they'd probably try to eat it. Yeah, that's a nice clip to end this on. Okay, it is now 5:15 and I have been streaming for 1 hour and 50 minutes. And I think that's a good stopping point because I have some other stuff to do today. And I have the horror of knowing that I've got a lot more to do. That's really interesting, actually. All of them were clearly tracking the bug. Okay, so I'm going to save. And I am going to put my thanks for watching screen up. So thanks for watching, even though I know not many people could tune in, right now anyways. But I am quite happy that I was at least able to get some stuff done today. Whew. And I got through some of the hardest segment, I guess. But now it is the long, long slog. Okay, well that's enough for now. Have a nice day.